Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really profound argument that AI is changing not just what we do, but maybe who we are. We're going to go way beyond just efficiency and try to uncover the hidden cost of getting that perfect answer instantly.
Okay, so let's get right into it. This whole idea really kicks off with a simple observation from the renowned mathematician Terence Tao. He pointed out that as AI just hands us the answer, we miss out on the journey, the process. And at first glance, you think, great, that saves me a ton of time. But the source material we're digging into today says, hold on, it's a lot deeper than that. And this is not another talk about AI making us lazy, I promise. The argument here is way more fundamental, that the consequences actually hit the very way we form our identities and figure out our place in the world. So let's start with section 1, building the self. How does skipping all that messy, frustrating process of learning actually affect you as an individual? Well, the argument is that when AI skips the process, it's not just taking a shortcut, it's erasing something the source calls a trace. Now think of a trace like an entry in the permanent record of your life. It's the mark that's left behind after a struggle, a mistake you had to fix, or that aha moment. It's basically the raw data that makes up your personal story. And what's so cool about this is how it visualizes how we're actually formed. We don't just wake up one day with an identity, it's forged in this loop. You try to do something, you fail, you have to stop and think and adapt. And right there, in that moment of revision, a trace is created. That struggle, that's the stuff that builds who you are.
So here's the crucial point. When we outsource that struggle to an AI, we're not just saving some effort. We're literally outsourcing the very experiences that create those traces. Yeah, we get the answer, we get the perfect final product, but we miss out on the messy, essential, and frankly human process of becoming. And this line just perfectly illustrates the core danger, doesn't it? A gap starts to open up between the knowledge we can summon in an instant and the identity we've actually earned through experience. We've got the what, but we're missing the how and the why that's supposed to be woven into our own story. Now, this thinning of the self, this lack of earned traces, it has a ripple effect. It starts to change something really fundamental about what drives us, shifting our motivations from a deep sense of purpose to just simple preference. The source gives us this really powerful metaphor. Think of purpose like a belt. It's a structure that you build, something you have to actively maintain. You work on it, you close the gaps, you adjust it, you keep it tight. But when the process disappears, that sense of purpose can degrade into mere preference. And that's more like choosing from a menu. You just select what you want and the final product is delivered to you. You become a consumer of outcomes, not a builder of purpose. Okay, so what happens when this isn't just about you or me, but about all of us? This brings us to section 3 and the pretty scary risk of a hollowed-out society. This can lead to what the source calls an epistemic hollowing out. And epistemic just means anything related to knowledge. So as a society, we run the risk of becoming intellectually hollow. We might have all the right conclusions, all the perfect answers from AI, but we've lost the underlying muscle, the ability to reason our way to them from the ground up. This creates a really fragile, two-layered kind of intelligence. On the surface, you look like a genius. You can pull up any fact, any answer instantly. But that deep layer, the actual ability to reconstruct that knowledge if the AI isn't there or the situation changes, it's just gone. You're brilliant, right up until the moment something unexpected happens. And this could create a brand new and pretty dangerous digital divide. It's not about who has information and who doesn't anymore. It's between output consumers and process owners. The vast majority of people might just become consumers of AI-generated answers, while a much smaller group, an elite, keeps control over the valuable, real-world processes that actually build skill and identity. So here's the real kicker. The things that our society is often trying to optimize away, things that seem inefficient, like mentorship, hands-on problem-solving, long-term research, real craftsmanship, these suddenly become the most precious resources of all. And why? Because they are the factories that produce thick, resilient, and adaptable human beings.
So, is the solution to just reject AI entirely? Not at all. The source argues we need to get really strategic about the future of process, which brings us to our final section.
We need to be surgical about this. It's not about romanticizing every single tedious task from the past. The real challenge, the real skill, is learning to tell the difference between a process that's just annoying friction and a process that's truly essential to our growth.
And thankfully, the source gives us this fantastic framework for how to think about it. First up, you've got dead friction. Repetitive, low-value stuff that doesn't really teach you anything. Outsource that to AI. Don't think twice. Then you've got calibration. These are the processes that build your judgment, your taste, your intuition. AI can help compress these, make them faster, but you still need to do the reps. You can't eliminate them. And finally, the most important one, subject-generating processes. These are the core struggles that actually form who you are, your identity, your purpose. These, the source argues, have to be protected and preserved no matter what. And this suggests a totally new direction for technology. Instead of building AIs that are just answer engines, what if we started designing them to be process-preserving engines? An AI that helps us navigate the journey, maybe points out interesting things along the way, handles the dead friction for us, but ultimately preserves our role as the one who does the struggling, the learning, and the growing. Ultimately, this whole entire argument that we've walked through today, it really boils down to this one powerful, memorable idea. We can, and probably should, outsource the hunt for answers. But we can never, ever outsource the process of becoming ourselves. That is work that each of us has to do.
And so that's the question we want to leave you with. The next time you reach for an AI, try to think beyond just the answer you're trying to get. Ask yourself, what part of the process and what part of yourself are you choosing to build, and what are you choosing to give away?